Hey guys, my name's Mary Lily.
I'm Marshall.
And I'm Caitlin.
And we're the hosts of Unveiled Opinions.
Three newlywed girlies with a podcast on any and everything wedding related.
Happy Monday, guys.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. How's it going?
It's going. We just had Marshall's baby shower yesterday.
I know.
Yes. So fun going through all the gifts and stuff today, trying to find places to put everything and making a list of things that we still need. So it's fun. It's just like a lot. I feel like I need like a lot of days to do this.
Yeah.
I need an organizer, Caitlin. I'm just kidding, but like for all the stuff,
yeah.
I'm like having to Google like how and look on like TikTok and Instagram and Pinterest on like how to organize like all this stuff because I don't have like things to put this stuff in.
Well, I will come over, Marshall. So if you do need help.
At one point today, I just like stared at the gifts and Gil was like, "Are you overwhelmed?" And I was like, "Yeah, a little bit." I was just like surrounded.
Gil was having fun with some of the books.
Oh yeah, reading the books.
Reading them to Connie.
Oh my gosh.
Connie was not interested at all. At all.
He's like, I know how to read, you idiot.
He's like, I learned before you did. But yeah, it was at first Gil was like, so we have to read to her every night. But then he like looked at the books and he was like, they're like 10 pages with like 3 words on each page. Oh my God.
He was like, I can't read a chapter a night. Like,
it's
crazy.
Yeah, I think he was thinking of like when they're older, like the longer books and stuff. And I was like, yeah, like it takes 4 seconds. Like we'll be fine.
It'll be quick.
It'll be okay.
You'll live.
Yeah. I was like, we have to feed the baby every day.
We have to do that every
like a
day. And I was like, just look at the list of things we got to do every day. That'll be the least of your worries.
Yeah, you're going to love the reading part.
Yeah, that'll be the easiest.
That means, well, it's either going to be like, I hear people talk about nighttime scaries or something like that. So I was going to say that would be like the good part because like, you know, you're going to bed, but maybe it's not. Maybe it'll just add to like anxiety at this point.
Yeah, I sent Kyle like a sample schedule last night while I was laying in bed and he was like doing stuff because I was like, I don't know what to do. And he's been like, what do we do? Yeah. And he was like, this is a lot. He was like, I think I'm getting some anxiety setting in. Like, could you really not send this to me?
Because it's like every 2 hours or something.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah, and then everybody's like, yeah, you can look at the schedule, but every baby's different. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not helpful.
Yeah.
I mean, you just kind of wing it, like when you're taking care of a baby.
I feel like you have to because like it's like every baby is different, you know? So it's like what works
and like every day is different. Like it's like some babies you can get on like a good schedule, but like then there's some days where it's just like not going to work no matter what.
Yeah, like some kids like sleep through the night like pretty early on. And then like my brother didn't sleep through the night till he was like 3. So, you know.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm hoping that doesn't happen to anybody. Yeah. But
goodness.
It is possible.
Well, exciting. And Mary Lily, you have an exciting milestone coming up. Your 1-year wedding.
1-year anniversary.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe it's already been a year almost.
I can't believe it's
You're like, it's only a year.
A lot has happened. Should I tell everyone? Okay, I'm pregnant.
She joined the club. She drank the water.
Literally.
Yeah, I got jealous.
She's like, I don't want them to go through this and not me.
Yeah. Totally. So celebrating a year married with a baby on the way.
Yeah. Everyone's like, oh, this could be your baby moon. I'm like, it's supposed to be my 1-year anniversary trip.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to be fucking pregnant.
Yeah, I'm not supposed to be able to drink on this.
Yeah. But it's a blessing. So here we are.
A house and a baby.
A house and a baby.
Yeah.
You're doing it all.
Well, that is what we're talking about today, is that big milestone of being married for 1 year and just the lessons that we've learned, at least so far. Marshall, you've been married for what?
It's like 2.5. It'll be 3 in November.
Okay. 3
Yeah,
years in November.
Yeah, so over 2, not sure what the months are in between there, but it'll be 3 in November.
Yeah.
2.25. No, I'm kidding.
So you have a little bit of a different experience too.
Yes.
You've been in the 1 year marker, and then you also, I feel like I've heard that people say the first like 2 to 3 years can be the hardest, but
yeah, I feel like the first for me was harder than the second. It's just
really?
just a lot of changes, I guess. And just, I don't know. And this one's just kind of, besides being pregnant, it's just kind of coasted on by.
Yeah, it's like a different season.
Yeah, it feels different. The first one, I felt like I was like barely like hanging on some days.
Yeah.
It was just like everything was so different than what I knew. But yeah, this second year is like, I feel like way better.
Yeah, it is a lot of change. How would you describe the first year of marriage?
Well, it was like we hadn't like lived together like full time. So that was like a big change. Like obviously I'd be here on the weekends and like sometimes during the week, but it wasn't like our day-to-day life like I was here. So just getting used to that, I feel like was a really big change. Just like your normal everyday life. It's not like us. Like when I was here, it was like we were hanging out on the weekends, like going places, doing fun things. So that was an adjustment. And then also, this is like, I feel like I complained about it so much when I first got married, and now it's like, whatever. But just like moving to a different neighborhood, and it was only like 15 minutes from where I lived, but it was like farther from work and just like everything that I was like used to. And I remember complaining about it all the time. Like I had moved states or something. And it was.
It's like you lose all of your
ridiculous.
conveniences, though.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, I have to like find a new grocery store. Like, where am I gonna like? I was just so used to like everything from before that like that part. I was like, I feel like I just like almost stayed in the condo for like a couple of days because I was like, I don't even know where to go. Like, I don't know what to do. It was really dramatic, but so that happened. But then there were like other big changes, like my dad passed away and like stuff like that. So it was just like a lot going on when like that stuff had like nothing to do with like our marriage, but like it impacted it. So it was just like a lot of life things going on. But yeah, I feel like second year has been just like we're completely like used to each other now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not like constantly learning something new about like new and annoying about this.
Yeah.
person.
There's less surprises.
Yes. So second year, we've been really good. First year, it was just changes, just a lot. And I don't always react well to change. So that also was I wasn't probably the easiest person to be around.
What about you, Kate? Because you're at 1.5 years, so you're half a year into your second year.
Yeah. Look at that math.
Wow, that was.
I would say the first year, it was a lot of changes. It was a lot of like, we had already lived together, but it was a lot of changes in the sense of like figuring one another out, figuring out family dynamics, and figuring out like, I think now we operate a lot more as like a team, if that makes sense. And I know that sounds like probably kind of cliche, but like when he makes decisions and when I make decisions too, they're a lot less selfish.
No, I get that. I totally understand what you're saying.
And that was a really big, I think, learning curve, because it's like you plan a wedding and you're having to make so many decisions together, but I feel like it still can be a little bit of like my family versus yours and like my stuff versus you and whatnot. And I think there's a lot less of that now that we're 1.5 years. Well, it's like, I would say like none of that.
Yeah.
1.5 years in. And I don't know, it feels a lot easier in a sense.
It's like more comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mary Lily, what's your review of the 1 year club?
How would you rate it?
Honestly, well, Matthew and I did start living together when we were engaged. So, and I feel like I just have a high stress life. There's like nothing I could do that wouldn't make me like really anxious. So, I don't know, like the wedding, I was super anxious before and basically a crazy person. And I feel like we learned a lot then. But before, when we were planning the wedding, like I lost my job, Matthew moved in, like I feel like all of that really brought us closer and like to be more of a team because we were really under one paycheck.
Yeah. You were forced.
So, yeah. So things I feel like did escalate a little bit before we were married, I'd say. And I think like the first like half a year, like because we were married June, like this time last year. So it was like 6 months before 2025. And I feel like, I don't know. Like it's just felt the same.
Yeah.
But we've just had like a lot of stuff go on. Like finding out I was pregnant, moving,
Yeah.
buying a house together. So I wouldn't say anything has been like super crazy.
It's just crazy day to day.
Yeah, it is crazy day to day. And that's it. I mean, good point too. Because I also lost my job before the wedding and it was interesting. Kyle, at one point, and like we were forced to like make decisions differently and be more of a team and whatnot. There was one point though where he was like, "Are you like gonna get a job? Are you gonna like keep drinking white wine with your mom?"
Like, are you looking? Are you actually searching for something?
I feel like I'm searching my soul.
Yeah.
Soul searching right now at the bottom of the bottle of wine.
Yeah. So that was a little bit of a touch and go time for us right away. But you got past that. But I do think, Mary Lily, as you said, like when there's just so much life and like so much craziness happening, it's like you're just forced to keep moving and like
you don't have a choice. You can't just like stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we've had some probably epic fights, but like not as bad as when before we were married. And I also think Matthew and I like we started dating and we were like really inseparable, going on family trips, like really quick and like ingrained in each other's families. So I feel like we had huge fights like then. And like we kind of like got over that a little bit or like learned each other a little bit more. Yeah, and I stayed in my same place where I was living. Like he moved in with me. So it wasn't like I had that I'm about to have a huge adjustment, but for for the first year, I like was in my space and I was basically like, get your stuff out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took me a while to like feel like this was my home too. Like it wasn't just like his. So I feel like that was part of it as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I moved in like before we were even engaged. So I feel like that like being like the wedding planning process and having the registry and getting gifts like just helped a lot because it was like we were taking a lot of stuff out and just like starting over.
Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I've definitely learned how to communicate better through all this, or just like how we each communicate. Because like I said before, we were not really doing anything like serious when we were like together. You know, it was like we were going out. Like we weren't talking about bills and stuff like that.
Oh my God, the worst conversation. Matthew's always like, it's Sunday afternoon, like, want to review our budget? I'm like, no, like it's the
Sounds
weekend.
awful.
And then he's like, okay, it's like Wednesday night, like, can we do the budget? I'm like, I'm so tired from work. Like, I can't believe you're trying to have this converson with
Like,
me.
Yeah, you're like, it's midweek. Like this doesn't work.
He's like, when does work for you?
Never.
And you're like, ooh, let me check my schedule. Yeah, it never looks pretty good for me. Is there anything that has surprised you about being married so far in a good way or a not so good way, if you want to spill the tea?
I don't know if surprised is like the right word.
I feel like if anything, marriage has gotten easier since we found out we were pregnant. I don't know
Yeah.
why. I don't know if that's like normal or not, but I kind of just feel like it's like everything's just kind of like gotten easier, and I don't know why,
Do
but
you feel like it's because you have a like common goal?
maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. And I kind of was expecting the opposite a little bit. Like I was anticipating like being like super stressed out, and it just hasn't been like that. So that's been nice. I guess that's surprising in a good way for me.
Yeah. I would actually echo that. That's like
Mhm.
one thing Kyle the other day said, which I was like, I cannot believe you just said this to me. He has like loved our marriage since being pregnant. He's like, I would keep you pregnant. Like, I don't know if it's being off Adderall or what. But like,
He's like,
he
you're
was
not
like,
as nuts.
yeah. He was like, he was like, my top three favorite versions of you is pregnant you, hungover you, and then regular you. I was like,
Regular is at the bottom.
yeah, I
I
was like,
like that hungover is above that.
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, are you kidding me?
It's
You
because he
just,
just likes when you laugh at all his jokes.
and yeah, that's
And you're
exactly
like
it.
call like just
Yes,
chilling.
I'm like, whatever. What is
Yeah, sure. You're very
um,
agreeable.
yeah, exactly. I'm a lot more, I guess, chill these days.
Yeah.
And that I would also say, Marshall, to your point, has been like surprising of
Hmm.
like, I don't know, you hear everybody talk about how just like miserable pregnancy is and like, yeah, there's
Hmm.
so much change and like all of that is true.
Hmm.
And at least like from a relationship standpoint, I have ever like guessed how it would have been, but
Yeah.
it has been really nice.
Yeah. I just feel like almost like we click better like
Yeah.
now. I don't know, but I don't know if I can really like describe it correctly, but it does just feel easier. So
Yeah.
that's always great.
Well, that kind of is too. Would you say there's been any other like milestones or moments that have been pivotal in like marriage for y'all?
I think when like my dad was sick and like then when he passed away, just like trying to communicate what I needed, but like not doing a good job. And then Gil trying to like read my mind, probably because I wasn't doing that great of a job. It's hard to know. So I feel like we probably learned a lot about each other in that sense. And he was able to tell me like when his parents, like if they get sick or anything like that, like what he will need. And
Yeah.
I like really appreciate that, like just to store back in the back of my mind for
Yeah.
if, that happens. But that was something hard that like obviously you don't know how to plan for, but it's hard to like communicate what you need. Like some people probably not. I like did not know how to communicate what I needed at all. So that was like, I think we did learn a lot about each other during that time though,
Yeah.
which was nice.
Well, and two, I feel like with grief, it's like you don't know what you need
Yeah,
all the
exactly.
time.
And even like when it like, because he was sick for a while. So it was like, you did have some time, to like
Hmm.
figure some stuff out, but then like it's still just such a weird time in general. So I was like appreciative that he was like, well, if something like this happens with my parents, like this is probably what I'm gonna like want slash need. And I like was like, that's good. I like to know that. Thank you.
Yeah, that's helpful.
That's helpful. Because I'm probably not giving you anything right now.
Yeah, you're like, I'll mentally note that and
Yeah.
we'll follow up another time when I have more capacity.
When the brain capacity is bigger and emotional. But yeah,
Yeah.
I would say that's like one thing I definitely think was like a pivotal
Yeah.
little moment.
Mary Lee, I know you've had a lot of milestones over the past year. Would you say any of them have been pivotal in your marriage?
Yeah, I think like buying a fixer-upper house, like while being pregnant, like probably wasn't a smart thing. Like I wouldn't recommend. It's just been a lot and it costs a lot of money. And like even if you think you know what you're getting yourself into, like you just don't. So yeah, to like be spending this much money and like just literally lighting it on fire basically, and then knowing that I have a baby coming in like 4 months or something, that's a little intimidating. I think that has been like the most like friction in our relationship. And like being like, before we knew I was pregnant, I was just like super hormonal and like pissed off and like didn't know why. Matthew was like, "Are you like depressed or something? Like, I just can't handle this." I was like, "I'm tired, like, and I don't feel good. Like, I don't know what else to tell you." So
Like,
I
do
think,
better.
yeah, I was like, "I just don't want to deal with anything." And I kept being like, "I'm not dealing with this." And he was like, "Okay." But I will say he just like took everything that I was like, "I'm not doing this." He literally took it on and has been like great. But yeah, I've like probably been a little ridiculous, but we were renovating our house during my first trimester and that was shitty. And then now we're moving into a house that we're renovating.
And also shitty.
Yeah, like I just think if anyone's ever done like home projects with their partner, you kind of understand. It's just
Yeah.
like constant and it just all costs so much money, especially like moving boxes are like $2 a pop.
So
It's just
expensive.
like,
Mhm.
yeah, and then
And the
on
stuff to
top of the
wrap
bubble
them.
wrap, the
Yeah.
tape, and it's just like we go through a roll of tape like that when we're packing
Yeah.
stuff. It's just like a lot
It
you
all
don't think
adds
about.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, and like we were getting quotes to move our 2-bedroom apartment and storage unit. They were like 7 grand. I was
It's
like,
wild.
this has got to be a joke. We obviously, I was like, Matthew, call them back. Do they know that we're moving a 1,000 square foot condo? Like, we're
Yeah.
not moving a giant house. What?
Right. Like, how would that even work?
So I just think it's been a lot, but Matthew's been great. I've probably been like probably annoying, but
Well,
whatever.
this isn't his podcast, so that's fine.
Yeah.
What do y'all do when you're not on the same page, whether it's like something big or small?
I feel like that happens
Yeah.
quite frequently.
Matthew, I like force Matthew to speak.
Yeah.
I'm like the communicator. Matthew is not a communicator. I'm like sitting there, like asking him a million pointed questions. He's like rolling his eyes. He's like, "Can we do the budget?" And like just talking numbers. I'm like, no.
Just talking code.
Yeah.
I know. I
Yeah.
feel like I have to can't get an attitude, have to have a
Yeah.
certain tone. But I also feel like I'm like asking the questions and like I have to ask them in a way that it's not coming off as like me being a bitch.
Yeah.
Like these are some things I think are very common sense. Like, why aren't you seeing it? I can't do that. But yeah, I feel like I'm like sometimes having to just like it's like pulling teeth because I want everything like out in the open.
Yeah.
And, I don't want to like think that we're on the same page. And then there was like a thought in his head that just like didn't come out. And next thing you know, you're not on the same page. But
Yeah.
I feel like it's like very much me like asking lots of questions, being like, well, this is what I think. So like leaving the floor open for him to contribute.
Sometimes I like will text Matthew a bunch of stuff and like he will like read it and like he needs like a day or two to digest it.
Mhm.
Like before he can like come up with something and I'm like, here's all my points, like in an essay, read it, like
MLA format.
Yeah, MLA format.
figure it out.
Everything is cited. Don't worry.
And it can't
By Chat GPT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you also, or I can't like bombard him with things. Like it has to be like it can't be like him in the middle of like something
No
like doing
multitasking.
Yeah, no, and not like after like a really like crap day at work or anything like that. Like
all of the factors have to be
they all have to
right.
align. The stars have to align here.
Yeah. Mercury can't be in retrograde. Your tone has to be
for the best case scenario. Like you have to
after
follow
a
this
snack,
list.
probably.
Yeah, maybe a beer.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to be mindful of my attitude as well if I want it to be effective.
But that's kind of been the nice thing because like Matthew's drinking and I'm not. So like usually if I was gonna have a serious talk with him and I was drinking, like I'm not gonna remember. And not that I'm blacking out, but like it's just
it's the emotions and the alcohol.
It gets a little hazy sometimes.
But now whenever Matthew's drunk, because he like I feel like communicates better when he's had a few drinks. So I'm like, sure, let's have a talk.
Yeah, you're like,
do you
lay
need
it on me.
anything?
Let's
But then it's like you remember everything. So if it's like, you said this, I'm like, no. I didn't. I haven't had a drink in going on 9 months. I did not say that.
Yeah, you're like, liar, liar.
Why are we lying?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's like the same of like just asking a lot of questions. Kyle has been really proud of him of like being a lot more communicative. Normally he would just like shut down and like be like, nope, I'm not talking about it. And I'm like, I literally can't read your mind.
Are we all married to the same person?
You've got to give me something. Like you got to give me something here.
I know. The silent, I don't know if it's a silent treatment or just the silence that used to come when I like have to like, ask important questions. It would be the little, and then the no words.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, no, no. I need to know what you're thinking.
Which I think is probably one of the things that has changed in our relationship from like being engaged, newlyweds, like to now, is he's like less like frustrated by the fact that like, no, like you actually have to communicate.
Yeah.
Like the like sigh of like when I ask a question of like, is what you said of like, oh, it's like, no, like he doesn't do that anymore.
I don't know
as much.
I don't know if it's like a difference between like girls and guys, or if it's just like based on like how like, you were raised and stuff like that. But I guess it just depends. Like, I feel like in my family, like we talk about everything, like probably way too much. And like, I don't think his is as much like that. So he probably does get really frustrated with me when I'm like, he's like beating dead horses. Like, okay, but like, what about this? Like, what do we decide on?
Yeah.
But I feel like he's gotten better with that with me, not being so annoyed.
Well, I feel like I'm a little like, I feel like Matthew's family talks about everything, like everything. And Matthew like doesn't as much. And I feel like I kind of now sometimes I'm like, whatever, I'm just gonna make this decision. He really doesn't care. Like I feel like I've gotten that way. And like I just like if you don't want to answer, like this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like choose your battles, because like some things really are not worth all that. And if you can just make the decision and it's like he doesn't care about it, I would definitely just do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like what I've learned too, is like the things that he does care about and the things that he doesn't.
That took some time on my part to figure out.
Yeah.
But we're in a good spot now.
I feel like that's like a still learning too.
Yeah. It'll probably be like, we're going to learn this the rest of our lives, honestly.
Yeah, I know. What do you think the next couple of years will be like?
I don't know. We'll all have
It'll
babies.
be like babies crying. You guys are like,
yeah.
Maybe me crying.
Yeah, everyone crying. I mean, me crying is a current thing, actually.
Yeah. Hopefully I'm not so overwhelmed, but I don't really see that happening either.
Yeah.
You don't, Marshall, you are going to be so overwhelmed. You guys both haven't even spent that much time with babies.
I don't see that going away, is what I'm saying. Like, I feel like I'll just be like, new norm.
Yeah. Baseline stress.
Like, I'm fine. I'm overwhelmed and scared and anxious, but I'm totally fine.
Yeah. What advice would you give to somebody who is kind of in that like newlywed or approaching their 1-year anniversary?
I would just say, like, listen to your husband as much as you can. Like, when he is telling you something, like, do try and like take it in. And I think like also try not to bother him. If it's something you can call your mom about and like complain to her, and then like you'll be fine, that's so much better sometimes, especially with all this moving stuff. Like, we'll have all these conversations and then like I'll have a minute to think about it and I'll be like, what the fuck did I agree to? And so like a lot of times I'll like call my mom and just like yell at her basically. And I'm like, I can't yell at Matthew. He's done so much for me today. And so I think that
tapped out that.
Yeah, I think I've worn out that welcome. So I think that has been kind of key, is like, what can you just call your mom about and like kind of get over?
Yeah.
But when it's important, and like when he finally decides to like tell you what's going on in his little brain, listen.
Not the little brain. Yeah, I feel like that's a good one too. Like have someone that you can like vent to that's not gonna like hold it against you later.
Mhm.
Or them, you know what I mean? You don't want anyone to
Yeah,
like not like your husband.
right. Like,
Like,
because it's not necessary to just like always
well, yeah, and like you
rail
don't
on
want all your
him.
like stuff coming out like next time you're at
Yeah,
the bar, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
someone's
when the
like, I
emotions are
heard you
high.
were like, I heard you were being annoying the other day. Mary Lee was
Yeah.
complaining a bunch about you. It's like,
Like,
stop.
like
Yeah,
that's not it.
that's not the
Please don't
point.
do that. Yeah, I guess I would just say like remember it's like both of you in it together. Like
Yeah.
it was just you before, but now it's like you're together and like you're going to be making decisions together that aren't about the wedding. Like I didn't even make decisions with Gil about the wedding. Like it was completely like all me. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, like just figure out each other, like, like we were saying, like communication style and stuff. And like just, I feel like it is about compromise too. Like you just have to
Yeah.
compromise on some things and not everything's the end of the world either. Like I feel like if someone had just like told
Yeah.
me that in the first year of marriage, like it is not that big of a deal. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you live 15 minutes from where you used to. Like there's a Harris Teeter down the street, you'll be fine.
You'll learn
Like
it.
you'll
But
figure
if
it
someone
out.
told
Yeah.
you that, Marshall, you would be like, shut the hell up.
Maybe like a
I
different
think you
approach,
have to
but
learn it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
like just keep that in the back of your mind if you can. But yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like compromise is kind of, even if you don't want to, like there are just some things that it'll be so much better off and like
You'll
you
be
won't stress
happier.
about it anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel like I wish that right away it was like, don't worry about the small stuff
Mhm.
as much. And I like, even just like family dynamics and things that would come up, or like how he would react and handle to a situation, I'd be like, oh my God, that's what you're doing. Like, that's a reflection of me. And it's like, no, like, let this man just be on his own and like figure out some things.
Yeah.
And it's
But I
not
feel
all
like
that
at
big
the
of a
time
deal.
you don't think it's small, and that's
Yeah,
the
no,
difference. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
exactly. It's hard.
And you can't control another person.
Yeah, if your friend's freaking out, like, and you're like, it's not a big deal. She might kill you.
Yeah.
Just
I'll show you
heads
a big
up.
deal.
It is a really big deal in the moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything is so big at the moment that it's happening.
Yeah. But there'll be another big thing here
Yeah, so
any
calm
day
down.
now.
Don't get all worked up over this one.
Well, Mary Louie, what are y'all doing for your anniversary?
We're gonna be in the mountains. We're going to this inn on a lake and just getting massages and hanging out. And then yeah, that's really
Do you think there'll be a
that's
hole
it.
in the table?
I literally have been wondering,
You should call.
but I know, but I don't want to. I doubt there's gonna
Just a
be a hole.
surprise.
I know, I doubt there's gonna be a hole in the table. Like I feel like they don't have them at hotels. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, I know.
I feel like it's like very specialty.
Yeah.
That's
Like
why
I'm
there's
not-
only
They're only the one.
Wait, but what do? You just lay on your side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever, at least someone's gonna be rubbing me.
It's actually not that bad. And one thing, I don't know if they'll do this where you're going, but definitely don't wear makeup or like bring a makeup wipe, because she said that she tends to do more of a facial massage because you get like so puffy when you're pregnant.
Mhm.
And that part was really nice.
I mean, I love a facial massage, but like if I wanted a facial massage, I'd call Marshall or like an
I know.
esthetician.
It was like a nice
It's
little
like part of it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
because they can't do other things, so they've got
Yeah, they
like,
got to fill
add
the
on.
time somehow.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Well, I don't even know. I'm only packing makeup because I have to go to a wedding. But other than that, I'm not wearing makeup.
There you go. You'll be ready for whatever
You're
that masseuse
fine
throws
then.
at you.
Yeah. Since I've been pregnant, I'm like, I'm not wearing makeup. I don't care. This acne's hormonal.
God.
The baby's
What do you want me to
fault.
do?
Yeah, I haven't worn it either. Like, why would I?
No.
Too much
I'm
effort.
like,
It's a
I'm
lot.
glowing, am I not?
Tell me I'm glowing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, Happy early anniversary.
Yes. Exciting 1 year.
Thanks. 1 year. Woo.
1 year down.
Yeah.
Forever to go.
Bringing in the 1 year sober. Maybe I'll get some good tea out of Matthew on this trip.
There you go.
Report back.
All right. Well, subscribe.
Have a good Monday. Oh yeah. Like, subscribe. Follow us, download, anything, you know?
Anything.
Let us know what you think.
Awesome. Until next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.